Welcome in head coach Antonio Pierce. So, Coach, let's begin with the current status of Devante Adams.
Yeah, I mean, he's working through an injury and hamstring, and we'll see how that goes.
With all the media coverage surrounding this story, what have you instructed your players as they meet the media and prepare for the Broncos?
Yeah, focus on the Broncos. That's our biggest worry right now. Winning a divisional game on the road, coming off a great home win with our crowd, and again, expecting Raider Nation to be in Denver.
152 yards rushing. That's what we've been talking about in this room for a while. What clicked? What did you see on tape?
I thought a really good job by our coaches. Creative ways to get other guys involved. I mean, you saw a receiver in the backfield. You saw a receiver carry a reverse. You saw a jet sweep by tight end.
Yeah.
And then our two backs did an outstanding job. But I think more importantly, man, I got to give it to these guys up front. I thought the guys up front, our tight ends, our receivers, all 11, especially the O-line, though, they were finishing, they were straining. You saw guys finishing at the pile. We had Jackson Powers jumping over piles. I thought the energy, the effort, the strain, I thought the physicality as the game went on really showed up for us.
I thought it was a great wrinkle to have two receivers score with the ball rushing.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, great call, right down there in the red zone, kind of breaking some tendencies there. If you're probably, doing some, scouting reports and self-scouting on us. But I thought a really good job. Again, I'm just going to go back to the perimeter. When you do anything with the reverse, say gadget-type plays, the perimeter blocking is key. And Trey Tucker, how big is he again? Well, the other day he was 6'3", like 220.
6'3", 220 sounds right.
That's how he acts. He had his big boy pads on the other day and blocking there for DJ Turner, and then those guys returned the favor for him. But I thought those guys did an outstanding job. Look, we got two speedy receivers there, right? And then put McAllister back there as well. We gave him a toss. That showed up on film. So I thought just overall, the players, the coaches, the scheme, that all came to fruition.
What about Jakobi embracing the number one, and he's going to get doubled here, the way he looked in that game, and his leadership, too? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think we've all said it, quietly, this guy's got something to him. We've heard players on our team speak about Jakobi, but I think the unselfishness of Jakobi is the most important thing. There's a clip. The ball's going the other direction, and he hits Myles Garrett, puts him down, and Myles looks at him like, who the hell just hit me? It's Jakobi Meyers, and put him on the ground, right, on his side, on his backside. And what Jacoby's able to do, man, run after the catch, the ability to block. We've seen him throw the ball. I mean, you really got to ask yourself, what can he not do? And he's an ultimate team player.
I know you want to get Brock in the end zone, and we've talked about red zone efficiency in that game. That was a war. That was a battle. Getting down there was tough. We'll get to your defense in a second. What about Bowers and the way he's playing and trying to get him more touches in the end zone?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I know he wants the first one back. Yeah. Right? He dropped it, and it was a big gain there for us. But that's good to see a rookie respond that way. And I thought it was a really good job by Luke Getsy to follow that up with giving him a jet sweep, right? Get him going. And then I think everybody saw what we've been seeing all training camp and all season long. A guy that when he has a ball in his hand, he's like a running back. He runs behind his pads and runs through tackles. But I think Brock, to his credit, and Harrison Bryant as well, I thought those two gentlemen, played an outstanding game for us. And just the production. Again, we always talk about receptions and all the stuff that shows up on the stat line. It's all those other things. There's a play, again, on a toss crack where we get a ball to McAllister, and Brock's guy's in the end zone, 15 yards down the field. He is driving him down the field in his field. And then you see Harrison Bryant doing the same thing, driving his guys out of bounds. So, it's all those things that don't show up on the stats sheet that really showed up in this game.
Defense, Adam Butler. Now, I don't look at stats really until week 4 because they're trends and now they become stats. Wow, what you got out of him and Christian in the middle, and then touch on Tyree because PFF looks at numbers, but we saw the bull rush, and we saw him chasing the other side. That's what I want to get into.
Yeah, man, listen, Adam Butler delivered, and we do it every Friday or Saturday, have somebody speak to the team. And Adam Butler did that, and it set the tone. Like normally, I did it just like today. I set the mindset, how we're going to win, the keys to victory. But then he had a message, and it resonated with amongst our team, our coaches, and I kind of used that throughout the weekend. We've been seeing that play. That the same play he made on that screen, he did against Baltimore. He's done consistently. He's always running the ball, his effort. Another unselfish player. And I think the key when you put him and Christian Wilkins inside, the middle push that we got, that pressure that we was allowing to our edges to get there, not to allow Deshaun to step up at times, especially in critical on that 4th and 3 to make those plays on the perimeter. I thought it was huge for us. And it was really good, man, to see Tyree finally, get off the rock. You saw a different look in his eyes.
Yeah,
and again, look, no Max Crosby, right? We lost our superhero. And everybody else stepped up. We talked about that next man up mentality, and they really bought into it.
I want to follow up with Adam. How do you choose that player? Was it a feel or just, hey, this is the opponent, what he's going to have to do? That'll change from week to week?
Yeah, it's changed. It's coaches. I mean, it could be anybody in the building.
Okay.
And I just kind of ask people, and hopefully for most of the time they're in all our team meetings, so they kind of hear the message. And I said, listen, however you spill it and however you want to go about it, just give us something, right? Give me some words of advice and wisdom, stories, wherever it may be. We don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming.
You don't know.
And with Adam Butler, I looked at him throughout the week, and it was Wednesday, Thursday. And I went to him Thursday afternoon after practice and say, would you mind speaking to the team? And listen, he knocked it out the park.
Let's move to Denver. They were staring 0-3. They beat Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers back-to-back on the road. Right. Something happened with them where it clicked. I mean, Bo Nix only had 60 yards passing, and they beat the Jets. So Sean Payton, you competed against him as a player, now as a coach. Give me what you're seeing with the Denver Broncos over those last 2 road wins.
Defense.
Yeah.
Defense. Vance Joseph, he got those guys. He got them rolling. Mm-hmm. Play up front, a lot of movement, pressure. You're going to see, Patrick Surtain. He'll travel probably more likely with our best receivers and see those matchups there. But you're going to see a lot of pressure from them. They're stout. They're stingy. They're bringing a bunch of heat. And then I think he's doing a really good job with Bo Nix on the offensive side, Sean Payton. You can tell he's running what he's comfortable with. There's not a lot on his plate, but they're very efficient. He's, for the most part, taking care of the football, and they want to run. Right, all his teams always want to run. They put up numbers because they had Drew Brees, but he always does a good job of running the ball and setting the tone at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be key for us this week.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with Bo because you had to look at him. He was there in the draft, was 1 pick away there. So as you evaluated him, what'd you see? Arm strength, legs, his smarts, because he's their franchise guy now that Russell Wilson's gone.
Yeah, it was good. We even brought him in for 30 visit, interviewed him at the Combine, so spent a lot of time with him. I know him back from college, recruiting him as well. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's played a lot of football. He has a certain aura about himself that people believe in, and you can see that. And you can see that when the game's on the line, the kid's not flinching. I mean, look, to go like he did last week in bad weather in New York versus Aaron Rodgers and, take care of the football and put his team in position to win, that's a credit to him.
Zach Allen, 23 pressures. That leads the NFL in the interior. He looks like he could be a problem here. You got to focus on him, too.
Yeah, it's going to be critical this week. The interior rush, those 3 guys our interior offensive linemen, with Jackson and Andre James, and again, depending on what's going on with our guard situation, just those guys really taking care of the middle. Colton Miller, look like it'll be DJ Glaze more than likely again this week, and just those guys working together. I think we're trying to find the right match up front, right? What's that continuity look like? Who's the best 5 that we can match up and gel with in the run game and the passing game for us to be successful? And I'm looking forward to the challenge because last week was a big challenge.
Right.
That was a really good defense, line that we went up against the Cleveland Browns. And for the most part, we did what we needed to do when we needed to do it.
I want to end with your quarterback as you continue to evaluate him and where you're at with the quarterback position here because this is a big game on the road. And we saw the early road game, especially the win in Baltimore, as the quarterback really played well down the stretch to get you a win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, month into it, right? We got 4 games, and that's typically what the NFL goes off of, right? 4 games. So we did a lot of self-scouting over the last couple of days and things we need to clean up, and Gardner understands that as well. I think, what would you like to see with him more is just the command, the leadership, making those throws. We had some opportunities last week that he wants back, I want back, the team wants back, and we got to make those plays. But more importantly, just don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Give us a chance, right? Keep the ball. It always ends up in the Raiders' hands. If we can do that, we'll be fine.
Raider fans travel to Denver. It's very hostile. I just want to end on the rivalry. All right, there's been 8 in a row. We know that. You're on the road. You're 2-2. This is a big pivot game to get one there. Just this rivalry with the Broncos since you've come to the Raiders. It's different than Kansas City and the Chargers. Yeah. What do you think about this organization when you play them?
Yeah, first and foremost, we're not even going to talk about being 8-0. We're 0-0 this year against that team, and we got to go out and do a great job of handling the crowd noise. They'll be excited, especially with 2 wins on the road, back home now. So we have to deal with the crowd noise, offensively be good. But it's one of those things where, you look, Kansas City, no, it's this team. You know what I mean? It's Sean Payton. It's the way this team is set up. It's the history of it, especially back in the 90s when they were rolling and the Raiders in the 80s. Yeah. I mean, there's been some bloodbath games, right? Yeah. And I know over the last, few years, it's kind of went in our favor, and that's great. But we got to do it this year in 2024, and that's our mindset.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.